This is not a general prophecy. This is an official notice for a specific chosen soul. The connection you have with God has brought you here to receive a verdict that has already been decided in the highest court of the universe. The gavel has fallen, the decision is sealed, and the official notice regarding the immense wealth and destiny that was systematically stolen from you is finally on its way. The courts of heaven and earth have delivered their final, unappealable verdict, and a staggering wave of divine justice is about to be served on your behalf. The individual and the network of conspirators who betrayed your sacred trust, manipulated your reality, and took what was rightfully yours is not only being legally ordered to pay back every single cent, but they are facing imminent and unavoidable prison time. Behind the scenes, while you waited with a heavy heart, the legal system, guided by a divine hand, has painstakingly uncovered every single detail. The hidden paper trail, the web of lies, the sophisticated layers of fraud. All the while, you waited with supernatural patience as the law worked quietly but relentlessly in your favor. Now, your funds are being returned with interest. Your good name is being publicly cleared and exalted, and someone very close to you will soon serve significant time for the irreparable harm they caused. The universe has forcefully restored balance, and there is absolutely no escape for those who schemed against you. When the official letter finally arrives in your hands, it will feel thick, weighty, and stamped with an official government seal. Your name will be boldly printed on the envelope, and you will know instantly that your entire world is about to permanently change. Within these pages is the irrefutable confirmation of everything you have always suspected in your spirit but could never prove in the natural. A silent, methodical, and divinely orchestrated investigation has built a case so airtight, so overwhelmingly strong, that not a single loophole remains for those who arrogantly thought they could outsmart divine justice. Every single act of financial fraud that was committed in your name has been brought into the light. Every deceptive move has been tracked, every stolen transaction cataloged, and every forged document is now presented as undeniable evidence of a deep and calculated betrayal. What was once only a nagging whisper of suspicion in your soul now stands as an unshakable legal precedent. The legal system, often slow and imperfect, has in your case moved with supernatural precision, gathering overwhelming evidence in the shadows until the truth could no longer be contained or denied. Your case has reached its divine tipping point, the moment where the silence of your suffering ends and the loud, resounding consequences for your enemies begin. This is the turning point when those who thrived in deception are finally and forcefully dragged into the unforgiving light of public reckoning. This is no coincidence. The great wheels of justice have turned at their own deliberate pace, grinding slowly but exceedingly fine, heading steadily toward this exact moment of reckoning that can no longer be postponed or avoided. Years of hidden wrongdoing, of arrogant theft and secret mockery, have finally met their match. The universe, through the channel of God connection, has spoken. Now is the time for your restoration. The official documents you will soon hold reveal assets and wealth you never even knew existed. They detail vast sums of money routed through a complex network of secret accounts. They show prime properties and land signed away without your knowledge or consent. Your name, buried deep within deeds and trusts, was treated as if you were an insignificant ghost. But ghosts do not sign legal documents, and the truth, once buried, always rises from the grave of lost opportunities. Your bloodline carries an ancient and undeniable power, a spiritual royalty that could not be extinguished. This was never an ordinary theft. It was a calculated, multi-generational hijacking of immense generational wealth that was always, by divine decree, meant to be yours. Your birthright, your hidden and sacred inheritance, stretches far beyond just money. We are talking about vast land holdings, untouchable investment portfolios, and powerful trust funds that were established for you generations ago. All of it, earmarked for your name, is finally being restored to you. Family trees, as you will discover, can be meticulously trimmed, and altered by greedy hands in order to redirect the flow of wealth and power. Your own branch of the family tree was intentionally and maliciously cut from the official records. Critical paperwork was manipulated, lineages were brazenly rewritten, and the truth of your inheritance was reduced to hushed, secretive whispers. Those hushed conversations you may have overheard or sensed behind closed doors were not just idle family gossip. They were strategic meetings, conspiratorial sessions designed to ensure that you would never discover the magnificent truth of who you really are and what you are truly owed. Generations ago, your great-grandparents, people of vision and integrity, put powerful legal and spiritual protections in place for their descendants. But someone in your family, driven by a spirit of envy and greed, deliberately dismantled those sacred safeguards over time. Royal blood, true spiritual nobility, doesn't need to announce itself with grand, flashy gestures. It quietly flows through the veins, often unnoticed by the world, until fate and destiny decree that it is time for its true strength to be revealed. Throughout history, the most powerful families have played out this exact same dark scenario. Chosen heirs separated from their destinies by intricate layers of deception, rightful inheritors kept in the dark, living lives of struggle and lack, while usurpers enjoyed their stolen abundance. Think of the hidden histories of the great dynasties, their hidden heirs, their stolen legacies, their rewritten histories. Your own personal story mirrors this ancient and tragic pattern, except for one crucial difference. This time, you have lived to see justice come full, glorious circle. The wealth was always meant for you. The power was always meant for you. And now, the courts of heaven and earth have finally confirmed that sacred fact. A betrayal of this magnitude always requires deep access, intimate knowledge, unwavering trust, and close proximity. The architects of this grand theft were not distant strangers or faceless enemies. They sat beside you at the dinner table. They celebrated your birthdays and milestones with false smiles. They posed as your protectors while systematically robbing you blind. There was a matriarch with calculating, envious eyes, the very woman who claimed to nurture and guide you while she was secretly signing away your assets with a steady hand. Her signature appears again and again on the fraudulent transfer documents, a testament to her cold-hearted deceit. There was the friend whose sudden, unexplained prosperity never quite made sense, the one who masked their burning ambition behind words of fake concern, all while secretly feeding off the resources that were being stolen from you. There was the patriarch who rigidly enforced family rules and narratives designed to keep you confused, dependent, and small, building his entire authority on the very wealth that was being diverted from your own birthright. Together, this cabal of trusted faces spun an elaborate and convincing mythology. They told tales of family hardship. They concocted stories of modest means and financial struggles, all while your immense inheritance was quietly funding their secret luxuries and lavish lifestyles. These were not impulsive crimes born of desperation. They were cold, calculated, long-term strategies that were executed with precision over decades. These were conscious choices made every single day to steal not just your money, but your very identity. Their greatest and most unforgivable crime was attempting to erase the truth of who you are. Now, the courts have meticulously pulled apart every single layer of their deception, naming each and every conspirator and documenting every single act of betrayal. Your story echoes the ancient, sacred pattern of chosen ones hidden from their true place, like Moses raised in the house of Pharaoh, like monarchs separated from their crowns by complex and wicked schemes. But unlike those who were lost to history, your story ends with a glorious and total restoration, not with continued deception. Official court documents do not lie. The sealed rulings confirm the absolute truth. You are the sole rightful owner of all assets that were previously and fraudulently diverted from your possession. The legal language is precise and damning. Fraudulent conveyance, unlawful conversion of assets, breach of fiduciary duty, all detailing exactly how your wealth was systematically siphoned away. Your name is now listed in the rightful claimant section of every single legal document, confirmed beyond any possibility of contestation. Forensic accountants, guided by divine wisdom, have traced every hidden dollar, every property transferred through shell companies, every investment that was amassed behind corporate veils. Every single road leads directly back to those you once trusted with your life. The judges have reviewed the mountains of evidence thoroughly, and their conclusions are unanimous and severe. The legal system rarely moves with such absolute certainty unless the case is completely and utterly airtight. The sacred principle of restitution requires full and complete restoration, which means that everything that was taken will now be returned to you, with significant interest and penalties, as your name is cleared from any fraudulent record and your rightful place in your family's legacy is permanently restored. Know that the universe always operates according to higher, immutable laws. Balance must and will be restored. Now, through the courts, this cosmic justice is simply being made official. Prepare yourself for the full restoration of everything that was ever stolen from you. The decree has been signed, and the unstoppable process of justice is now in motion. Everything about their lifestyle, their social standing, their very sense of self, was built upon foundations that were stolen directly from you. Your inheritance funded their comfortable and arrogant existence. From the vacation homes that were purchased with diverted trust fund payments, to the luxury vehicles that were acquired with forged loan documents bearing your signature, it was all yours. Even their children's private educations and their lavish parties were financed by investment accounts that were meant to secure your future. They flaunted a wealth they never earned, buying status and privilege with the resources that were your birthright. And this betrayal didn't just stop with your immediate family. A wider circle of extended relatives chose a profitable silence. Financial advisors conveniently looked the other way, and complicit legal counsel drafted documents that they knew were designed to hide the theft. Now, every single person who benefited from this elaborate, decades-long scheme must face the severe consequences. The courts have identified every participant and have named them in the official proceedings, with detailed documentation confirming each person's exact level of involvement. These were not desperate people stealing a loaf of bread to survive. These were privileged, entitled individuals who were greedily accumulating what was never, ever theirs. Their actions show clear and undeniable premeditation, with complex tax shelters established years in advance, offshore accounts created to obscure the paper trail, and intricate legal structures built specifically to hide ownership. Some of the conspirators received direct cash payouts. Others accepted lavish gifts, such as cars and jewelry, that were bought with your money. And many simply enjoyed lives of elevated comfort and status, propped up by the immense resources that you were cruelly denied. Perhaps the most insidious and heartbreaking betrayal of all came from those who knew exactly what was happening and consciously chose to remain silent. They were witnesses to your loss who became complicit through their cowardly inaction. The family reunions you attended were held on your stolen inheritance. The holiday gatherings were paid for with your diverted funds. And the conversations always mysteriously shifted the moment you walked into the room. The courts have now tracked every single beneficiary, every active accomplice, and every silent partner in this decades-long deception. The comfortable lives they built from your legacy are about to completely and spectacularly unravel. Let's pause for a moment to salute those who were always meant to stand out, because they were never meant to fit in. This is a moment for the chosen ones, the eagles who were forced to live among chickens, the royals who were hidden among commoners. This is a call to the remnant who carry a divine spark that could not be extinguished by betrayal or deception. If you recognize yourself as one of these chosen ones, if this message from God Connection is resonating with your soul, subscribe now to stay plugged into your divine frequency. And as a powerful prophetic act to unlock your own financial and spiritual floodgates, consider sowing a seed of faith with a $10 donation through the Super Thanks feature. This isn't just a payment. It is a spiritual declaration that you believe this word for your own life and that you are aligning yourself with the immutable laws of supernatural restitution. If supporting isn't for you at this time, that's okay. we will still be here, watching, guiding, and helping you shift your reality. This is for the ones who don't need recognition, who never ask for permission, and who simply walk in their own divine power. Here's to you. Tie-ins that took entire lifetimes to build are now dissolving under the clear, unforgiving light of these legal proceedings. Their community standing will vanish overnight as the news of their fraud is exposed. Once proud professional credentials will become utterly worthless when they are linked to felony convictions. The mastermind behind this entire wicked scheme faces the harshest consequences of all: years behind bars, left with nothing but time to reckon with the utter devastation their insatiable greed has caused. There are no country club accommodations for financial crimes of this magnitude in federal facilities. Accomplices will receive sentences that match their level of involvement, with some desperately negotiating for reduced time in exchange for their testimony against the others. But all of them will face strict restrictions on their movement, their employment, and their financial activities for the rest of their lives. Every single asset that was obtained through fraud, the houses, the vehicles, the art, the investment accounts, will be seized and returned to its rightful owner, you. They once believed their power was absolute, that their control over you was permanent, and that their crimes were undetectable. Never in their wildest, most arrogant imaginations did they see themselves standing before a federal judge, listening in horror as the damning details of their deception were read aloud for the public record. They never envisioned seeing their names etched into official court documents that describe their elaborate and heartless fraud. They never anticipated the cold, hard reality of legal consequences. Throughout history, major criminal empires have all made the same fatal mistake, believing their power was immune to judgment. From Roman emperors to medieval lords to modern financial masterminds, all of them eventually faced their day of reckoning. Their fate was sealed the moment they chose deception over honesty and selfish gain over family duty. Now, the courts are simply enacting the inevitable. The transfer of power is immediate, total, and unmistakable. With the court's official declaration, reality itself is being fundamentally reshaped. Yesterday, they held the reins of power. Today, that authority belongs exclusively to you. This is not a gradual shift. It is a sweeping and instantaneous transformation by legal proclamation. The assets that were frozen in their accounts now flow directly back to you. The properties that once bore their names now become yours by court order. The investment portfolios they used to manage now transfer to your control. Their signatures are now utterly meaningless on any financial document. Yours is the only authorization that matters. The balance of power has flipped entirely and irrevocably. Those who once dictated the terms of your life will now receive instructions. Those who controlled all the resources will now have to ask for permission. And those who made all the decisions behind your back will now await your direction. This transformation extends far beyond just finances. Your voice now carries the weight and the influence that they once enjoyed. Your choices will now begin to shape the future that they once controlled. Your truth, now backed by full legal recognition, completely overwrites the false stories and the slander they once spread about you at family gatherings. The very energy in rooms will shift in your favor. Business meetings and social circles will quickly rearrange themselves to recognize your rightful place. The respect that was once automatically given to them will now flow to you. And when you enter a room, conversations will pause for a new reason, not out of fear of them, but out of recognition of your restored status. This is not just about reclaiming your wealth. It is about restoring your influence, your deserved respect, and your ability to move through the world free from the artificial barriers they so carefully created to keep you contained. The shift may feel strange and uncomfortable at first, after having lived for so long under a carefully manufactured reality. But that discomfort is simply the feeling of your entire being realigning with the truth, not a step away from it. Royal blood always finds its proper channel. The throne always returns to its true heir. The crown finally rests where it has always belonged. The courts have merely formalized a cosmic correction that was already in progress. The universe is simply restoring order after a long and painful disruption. Your power was never truly lost. It was only waiting quietly until the moment was right for its full and glorious restoration. Now, watch their desperate responses very closely, because how they react will reveal everything about their character. Some will cling to a pathological denial, insisting with false sincerity, "I never knew," or "this is all a terrible misunderstanding," as they scramble to rewrite reality even when the evidence is stacked against them. Others will attempt strategic, hollow apologies, using carefully crafted words that are designed to dodge all responsibility. You will hear empty phrases like, "I'm so sorry you feel hurt," or "we never intended for things to end up like this," which are meant to manipulate your emotions while avoiding any true accountability. But perhaps the most revealing reaction of all will be the silent panic. The frantic, hushed calls to attorneys, the sudden, obsessive interest in offshore accounts and non-extradition countries as they desperately try to shield themselves from the coming consequences. Behind their closed doors, their frantic searches about international banking regulations and hushed, terrified conversations about extradition treaties will reveal their growing fear. On the surface, they will try to keep up appearances, acting calm and composed for the world and offering brave, defiant statements to the rest of the family. But their private actions will betray their deep-seated panic. In secret, they will be transferring whatever remaining assets they have into hidden accounts and quietly preparing escape plans, all while reassuring those around them that everything is completely under control. Suddenly, after years of maintaining a cold distance, they will begin to reach out to you with unexpected, syrupy messages, expressing a sudden, feigned concern for your well-being or inviting you to private talks about family matters. Each one of these attempts is a thinly veiled, desperate manipulation to protect themselves. Some will try to leverage old emotional ties, reminding you of a shared past. "After all we've been through, we're still family, aren't we?" They will plead, hoping to use a twisted sense of sentimentality for legal advantage. Others will employ subtle intimidation, offering veiled threats and implying that seeking full justice might not be worth the cost to your peace of mind. These are the desperate, pathetic tactics of people who have lost all real power. The most calculating among them will even attempt to divide your supporters, spreading conflicting stories and lies to create confusion and try to maintain some semblance of control. But their words are empty. Their actions revealed their true character long ago. Throughout history, the powerful have always resorted to these same classic tactics when they are finally cornered. Denial until the evidence is overwhelming, followed by artificial remorse when denial fails, and then frantic maneuvering when the consequences finally close in. They are following the predictable playbook of the guilty, but nothing they do now can change the judgment that has already been rendered. The court saw through every defense, every manipulation, and every attempt at a delay. Now, everything they have built on their stolen foundations collapses at once. Their bank accounts are being frozen by court order. Their credit cards will suddenly stop working. Notices of asset seizure will arrive at every one of their properties. Their entire financial reality is being destroyed overnight. The social consequences will follow just as quickly and just as brutally. The phone calls from their friends will stop. The invitations to exclusive parties will disappear. Former friends and business associates will go silent as soon as the criminal charges become public knowledge. The impact on their professional lives will be equally severe. Licenses will be revoked, board seats will be lost, business partnerships will be immediately dissolved, and their careers will be forever tainted by their felony convictions. Family bonds will buckle and snap under the immense pressure. Marriages will collapse as the financial security evaporates. Their own children will pull away from their disgraced parents, and the wider family will be forced to pick sides as the divisions deepen into unbridgeable chasms. The psychological fallout is unavoidable. The immense stress will lead to chronic insomnia, crippling anxiety, and a host of stress-related health problems as their minds and bodies struggle to cope with the total collapse of their lives. The faster and higher they rose through their deception, the more dramatic and complete their downfall will be. They are now being forced to face the same uncertainty, the same instability, and the same loss of identity that they once inflicted upon you. The perfect symmetry of the outcome serves its own poetic justice. Their desperate attempts to control the damage will fail spectacularly. Their legal appeals will be swiftly denied. Their supposed character witnesses will disappear, and the evidence will remain undeniable, no matter how hard they try to challenge it. The universe delivers its consequences not through some mystical, magical intervention, but through the cold, hard, inevitable results of their own choices. This is not about your revenge. This is natural law restoring its balance. Their destruction is not yours to carry. Their own actions created these outcomes long before the truth ever surfaced. There is no need for you to celebrate their fall or to mourn their loss, only to acknowledge the universal principle that deception always collapses under its own weight. Truth liberates instantly, and with this knowledge, old, heavy shackles will finally break and fall away from your spirit. Your instincts were right all along. The painful disconnect between what you sensed in your gut and what you were told by their mouths is now over. That constant, draining inner conflict finally ends now. You can feel the certainty returning to your body. The tension that you've held in your muscles for years is finally dissolving as reality catches up to your intuition. The utter exhaustion of endless self-doubt finally lifts from your shoulders. You are not just joining reality. Reality is finally matching what you have always known deep down. This revelation does not just end a chapter of your life. It shatters destructive patterns that have extended far beyond your own lifetime. Generational curses of financial manipulation, cycles of ancestral identity suppression, and long-standing family traditions of power distortion are finally and permanently broken. The courts have only formalized what spiritual law had already decreed. The moment a chosen one awakens to their true identity, the entire spell is broken forever. For generations, your ancestors may have lived and died under this same deception, watching their birthright be stolen without any chance for justice. But your awakening brings this vicious cycle to a definitive close, not just for yourself, but for every single generation that will follow you. The psychological freedom you are now experiencing goes far beyond any financial restitution. This is a liberation from years of gaslighting, a release from the artificial limits that were placed upon you, and an escape from the invisible boundaries that were designed to suppress your true and immense potential. The curse depended entirely on your ignorance. Now, your knowledge has completely dismantled its foundation. For the first time, you are seeing everything with total, unclouded clarity. Relationships, motivations, recurring family patterns, even the parts of your family history that were once deliberately hidden through manipulation. This new, sharpened perspective does not stop with your own story. Your heightened perception now extends to every interaction you have, every dynamic that was previously clouded by the distortion field that they had created around your life. As you align with the truth, your entire physical experience will transform. The chronic tension in your body will melt away. The unexplained chronic pains will begin to fade. Your sleep will become deeper and more restorative. Your body will begin to thrive as your soul aligns with reality on a cellular level. Breaking this curse doesn't just free you. It liberates everyone connected to you. Your future generations will now inherit freedom, truth, and clarity instead of bondage, deception, and confusion. The courts have simply put into writing what the universe already knew. Your awakening was inevitable, and your restoration was guaranteed from the very beginning. Suddenly, opportunities will begin to appear from the most unexpected directions. Paths that were once blocked will now clear, and financial abundance will begin to flow freely and effortlessly to you. Bank accounts that were once drained will now begin to overflow. Investment prospects will show up at just the right time, and resources will effortlessly align with your every need. Influential and powerful people will enter your life as if they were guided there by fate. Mentors will arrive with the exact wisdom you require for your next stage of growth. A powerful field of protection will surround you before you even realize you need it. Legal shields will activate, financial safeguards will click into place, and strong spiritual boundaries will strengthen around your energy. Doors that were once slammed shut in your face will now swing open at your approach. Even institutions that once rejected you will now welcome your presence. Elite circles that were once completely out of your reach will now extend personal invitations to you. The wealth that is returning to you now is not just what was stolen. It is coming back multiplied, as if the universe is paying you compound interest on every single loss and every single tear. Your authentic power, now fully restored, will attract the exact people, opportunities, resources, and knowledge that you need to support your highest purpose, with all of it appearing at precisely the right moment, with no extra struggle or striving on your part. This is not random luck. This is the universe's natural law rewarding you for finally and bravely standing in your truth. True authority and nobility are not just titles. They are energetic states that naturally attract abundance and opportunity without any effort, effortlessly drawing in what is truly aligned with your divine purpose. As your restoration becomes public, pay very close attention to those who suddenly seek your company. Many will attempt to connect with you only after your victory is known, hoping to benefit from your new status. This is where your discernment becomes absolutely essential. Remember this: true allies are those who stood by you before your vindication, not those who come rushing in after your success has been announced. The arduous journey you have experienced has sharpened your intuition regarding relationships. Trust this new clarity, for it now allows you to clearly and instantly distinguish genuine support from opportunistic association. You will sense the difference easily. Your inner guidance system, strengthened and purified through every trial and every lesson, is now finely tuned. The universe has stationed energetic guardians at the very gates of your life. Your own energy field will now naturally repel deception and attract only that which is true. You will notice subtle warnings and strong gut feelings activating even before your conscious mind recognizes the red flags. An internal navigation system, finally calibrated and guided by your spiritual awakening. All previous restrictions on your life have now been lifted. Geographic limitations no longer apply. You are free to move and live wherever you choose. Financial constraints have completely dissolved, leaving you with an unrestricted and ever-increasing flow of abundance. The social boundaries that once held you back are gone, and your expansion now faces no artificial barriers whatsoever. This limitless state is your natural condition. It is the reality you were always meant to experience before interference and manipulation clouded your path. Now, the divine design for your life is finally unfolding as it was always intended, without any distortion or interruption. What the courts have put into legal language is simply the documentation of what cosmic law had established for you since the beginning of time. Your rightful place in this world comes with abundance, influence, protection, and the absolute freedom to expand without any limits. Cosmic justice always works with flawless precision, ensuring that the scales are balanced perfectly. This entire process was not just a legal dispute. It was the visible conclusion of an intense spiritual war that was fought far beyond what the physical eyes could see. The conflict stretched across generations, with your opponents never truly fighting against just you, but foolishly attempting to defy the universal principles that govern existence itself. Their defeat was inevitable from the very moment they chose deception over integrity, for no one can ever win a war against the cosmic laws that uphold truth. What is returning to you now far exceeds what was stolen. Universal justice always brings with it not just full restoration, but an additional blessing for having endured and overcome the trials of a temporary lack. This victory is so much more than just a financial recovery. It is your complete and total vindication. It is your full restoration. And it is your unrestricted permission to advance and create in any direction you desire. This resolution is not just for you. It creates a new precedent, clearing the way for your future generations so that they will face fewer barriers and less opposition. all because you were the one who broke through the boundaries that once held your entire lineage captive. The ancient cycles of deception have been utterly shattered by your awakening. The very schemes that were meant to destroy you have instead become the foundation of your elevation. Their strongest weapon against you, transformed by the alchemy of the universe, has now become your greatest source of strength and advantage. They could not possibly have foreseen this outcome. Their narrow, materialistic view of the world blinded them to the cosmic consequences of standing in the way of a chosen one's rightful place. What they believed to be their temporary triumph has instead sealed their lasting defeat. Now, this new phase of manifestation moves with unstoppable momentum. Your resources will multiply and flow to you beyond any logical explanation. Your influence will expand without you needing to force it. Your protection will automatically strengthen as your position in the world rises. The universe delivers nothing that is partial or limited. Every single aspect of your restoration is complete, including not only all that was stolen, but also everything you would have created and achieved had nothing been taken from you in the first place. Your role now is simply to receive, to accept, and to allow these powerful universal forces to orchestrate the intricate details of your complete restoration. The legal verdict is merely the official, earthly confirmation of what was already settled in the spiritual realm. What belongs to you has returned. What was hidden has been revealed. And what was stolen has been restored with divine interest. Victory was always assured. Only the timing remained uncertain. The court's ruling is the visible proof of an invisible justice that has long been in motion. Now you are free, you are victorious, you are restored, and you are elevated. Your future now opens up before you without any limits at all. That's all for today. Let us pray. Dear Father, I come before you now, and I pray for the supernatural growth of my faith. Help me to trust you completely, even when the physical evidence around me seems lacking. Let me believe in your perpetual and loving presence, knowing that you will never abandon me or harm me. I stand on your promise that your thoughts for me are thoughts of prosperity and not of harm, to give me a future and a hope. Thank you, gracious and eternal Father, for always listening to my voice. I offer up this prayer to you in the mighty and powerful name of Jesus. Amen. Thank you, Jesus, for your unconditional love and your divine provision. I am eternally grateful for your presence in my life and for the overwhelming abundance you are now bringing. If this message from God Connection has resonated deep within your spirit, please show your support by liking this video, subscribing to the channel for more direct divine messages, and sharing it with anyone else who needs to hear this powerful word of restoration. Leave a comment below about your own journey and how you are preparing to receive your own triumphant return. If you feel led to support our work, please consider contributing through the Super Thanks feature. A gift of $10 is a powerful seed of faith that helps us to continually improve our content and offer you the very best divine connection. No gift is too small, however. Whether it's a prayer or a share, your generosity helps to spread God's word and brings hope to others around the world. Don't stop here. Watch our next video for more powerful revelations about the signs that reveal you are truly one of the chosen ones. We have enjoyed following this sacred spiritual journey with you. Thank you for staying with us until the very end. Keep shining brightly and embrace your magnificent destiny with courage and with grace. We will see you next time. Blessings to all the beautiful souls from God Connection.